All right, well, it's American Hammers TV on a Sunday. I just decided to pop on here and shoot the shit with good friend Wally, the King of Prussia. What's happening, Wally? How you feeling?
Not much. Good. Feeling good after, calmed down after yesterday. I was feeling very disappointing was the feeling I had yesterday.
Yeah. Well, it seems to be it seems to be a continuous thing now, a constant thing. It seems as though we may have lost the magic or lost our form.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's brutal. Tommy, if you want to pop in here with us, you can feel free if you know how to do it. Or if I have to give you a code, then I guess we're shut luck. But anyway, nice to see you, Tommy. So anyway, the last few matches have been very disheartening, and obviously we couldn't control injuries, right? I mean, not having Declan, and then did he come back too soon? What would you rate his overall performance yesterday?
Yeah, I thought he did well. He made some great tackles. It's good to see him back doing that. But I'll tell you what, a couple times I think he got fouled at some point, and then he was like looking at his leg or something. I was like, oh no, here we go. So I got a little concerned there, but he played out the whole game. But yeah, it was good to have him back. But I was just disappointed, that.
Why can't we beat Brighton though? That makes no sense to me. What
I know, and I'll tell you what. Going into it, I was feeling optimistic.
Same.
People were saying, "Oh, they've got like 5 or 6 of their starters out." So I was like, "Oh, this is going to be." I was totally confident. I was like, "Oh, this should be a breeze." And then as the game kept progressing, and I think we needed to score early, and we didn't. And then it became a struggle, and so I was just disappointed.
Now, how would you rate Brighton's overall performance then?
I didn't think they did much either. They looked like they just wanted to get a draw and get out of there, and they had one moment, just like Everton, one moment of just popping that ball through, and that's all they needed. So it was frustrating. But they looked like they were going to set up. They were content pretty much with a draw, I thought, and unfortunately, that's what they got.
Because they're safe.
Yeah,
so
they're totally. Yeah,
it doesn't matter. Really, they're not going to climb too high in the table, even if they were to win.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's his name here, Tommy? I sent you the link, bro. I think. No, I didn't actually. There you go. Sorry, I didn't hit send. Yeah, I already sent that, brother. But yeah, so same. I think that I didn't think either team really performed that well. It was nice to see Ben Rama, get that goal. We definitely didn't deserve to lose that match for sure.
No.
However, our form overall the last few weeks. Going into yesterday's match, I was comparing us to West Brom. I was looking at our last 5 matches, both clubs, and they had won 1, lost 2, drew 2, and basically we up there at the top of the table had 1 more victory than them. Obviously, so we only had 2 more points than West Brom had in the last 5 matches going into Brighton. So obviously they lost today, and we got extra point. So we actually have 3 more points than them in the last 6 matches. That's West Brom we're talking about here. So that shows you how our form is, because their form hasn't been that great, even though they've put in a couple decent performances. But just throwing that up, throwing that out there. The other thing that really bothered me, the reason why I'm here today, is because I can't handle being below on the table than Spurs. Like, Spurs now is ahead of us, and I tweeted yesterday the American Hammers account thing, saying that if we continue to play like this. 8th before 10th, before we'll finish 10th.
I know.
And we're all crying, screaming about Champions League or even Europe. That the way we're playing, that's not going to happen, and that's not cool. Did I send you the damn YouTube link, brother? Oh, that's my bad, dude.
We we were looking up at the table, like a week or two ago, like we can get up there, we can get up to Champions League. Now we're looking, well, the couple of teams have passed us now, Liverpool and Tottenham, and we're looking now at Everton and Arsenal even could like pass us, and it just reminds me of the 2016 season where we were doing well towards the end, and then we just petered out and landed in 7th. So,
yeah,
could be the same thing.
Yeah. Well, and I think it was Ken from New Hampshire, Lee's good buddy, as he posted earlier, like my dreams, they fade and die. That seems to be. I hope it's not the case. We still have 2 more matches. So what happens if we, pull off 2 wins? I mean, speaking of, we got West Brom next, and I watched a bit of the match today. They actually played our Liverpool pretty damn well, with the exception of VAR, and there was a couple other questionable decisions by the referees, but I thought they put in a damn good performance. They were up, and then they Liverpool equalized, and then the goalie Allison scores a header in stoppage time to beat West Brom. But yeah, I mean, if we play like we've been playing against West Brom, there's a good chance that I mean, who's that? And then sorry, we got Southampton last, I think.
Yeah, Southampton. Yeah.
I mean, what are your thoughts going into the last 2 matches? I mean,
well, we keep saying, for probably 5 matches now, or 6 matches, we've been saying, oh, we have 6 or 5 more cup finals. Well, we keep losing our cup finals now, or not even winning. So we got to start winning one of these cup finals now. We got 2 cup finals left, and we got to win them. Otherwise, I think we're not going to be getting into Europe, to be honest. I think either Everton or maybe Arsenal even go by us. So
what do you think about the last 2 games, Tommy? Heading in there, the way we've been playing.
Just incredibly disappointing. You can forgive the Chelsea result, close game. We didn't play too bad. But, the reversal up at Newcastle when we were horrible. We were horrible against Everton. Although I think the Everton game had more to do with Everton's tactics. I think Ancelotti got them absolutely spot on and just nullified our game completely. And then, of course, Burnley, we had a good performance and beat them well. But, again, very disappointing. The other night, it's
well, Newcastle as well. I mean, that was something that these are matches we should have won, right? I mean, that would have made all the difference in the world. But I don't know.
I think what disappointed me the most, maybe against Brighton, was a team in our position against a team in their position. Apart from the fact that they're 17th and they've been relatively poor, struggled badly to score goals. In a game like that where so much is at stake for us and so little is at stake for them, what you want to see is the team that really has the most at stake come out and play like they have the most at stake and basically put it to the other team. Look, we want this desperately. We're going to put our hearts and souls into this game. We're going to run our bollocks off. We're going to tackle. We're going to harry. We're going to show you how much we want this and find out.
Did you see that at all?
Yeah, no. And this is why I'm so disappointed, because when you play a team like that who don't really have anything to play for, you have to ask the question of them. Are you willing to match our desire and need and desperation to win this game? Are you willing to go to the well? Because I don't think Brighton would have been. You just can't fake it. You can't fake the desire. You can't fake the desperation, the need for a result. And if we had really asked the questions of them, I don't think they would have answered them. I don't think they would, because psychologically they know there's nothing really at stake for them. And I just don't think they'd be willing to match us. And the really disappointing thing for me is that we didn't ask any of those questions of Brighton.
Yeah. Wally, what do you think about what Tommy?
Yeah, I agree. Except probably the last 5 minutes of the first half, suddenly we were putting on a lot of pressure, and I felt like, we're finally clicking. And I think maybe if we had another 5 minutes in that half and we had scored, then we would have.
Yeah, but I think
skated through that match.
But I think the point for me, Wally, is the last 5 minutes of that first half where we really did start asking questions is how we should have started the game and how we should have carried on. You can't do it for 5 minutes before the end of the half. We come out second half flat again. You need to start like that and ask the questions immediately and put it to them immediately. We came for the 3 points and we're going to do absolutely everything we can to get them. We're going to put everything into this game to get those 3 points. And I'm telling you, they wouldn't match it. They wouldn't be willing to go to the well because they don't need to, and they know they don't need to. And psychologically, I don't think they would have been able to get themselves to that place because they're just not in that place. And so the last 5 minutes of that first half, you're absolutely correct, Wally. That was our best period of the game. But that's what the attitude should have been from the first whistle.
Now, in comparison, the last time that we actually scored that early or scored early on and kind of dictated the pace was when we beat Leicester. And that's against another team up and around where we're supposed to be. And that's the last time we actually performed at that level, like you're saying, where like, let's go out there from the bang instead of waiting, later. I mean, we've nicked a couple of victories since then where we scored later, where like Burnley, they scored first, like 19 minutes, and then we scored 22 minutes in. You know what I mean? Like right off the bat, we equalized, but I mean, then we put it in performance. But again, we seem to be letting the other team get into the moment, into the groove before we get a chance to.
Yeah, it's a good point, Tim, and I think it kind of begs the question as well. What would have happened had West Brom scored early as well? Or excuse me, had Brighton scored early as well? If they'd scored in the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes, would that have actually woken our asses up? And our players fought? Because remember what happened when they went 1-0 up? All of a sudden, we start responding.
Yeah.
And we equalised quickly. And then we were all over them right till the final whistle trying to get the winner. So, it might have been no harm if they'd done what Burnley did and scored early just to kind of snap our fucking players out of it and out of their malaise and get them playing. And maybe we would have won had we gone down a goal down early. Who knows? But
the point is that you're right, but that's the path that we're taking. But that's not the way it's been all season long, especially with a lot of our other victories. I mean, so why the change? Like, why is it now all of a sudden we have to get smacked in the face to like wake up and then start reacting? Like, why is that?
Yeah, I mean, we did it away to Newcastle, 2-0 down and a man down, and then suddenly we start playing. And got back to 2-2. It's I don't know what it is, but they've got to snap out of it, and they've got to go to the Hawthorns on Wednesday, and they better be
with fans.
With fans.
Fans are going to be back in the stadium for that match. They were saying, or at least I don't know if it's full capacity, but there's going to be a lot of fans there. Their first match where they've actually had a decent amount of fans at the Hawthorns, so that's what they're pumped about.
Yeah, and I mean, judging by their game against Liverpool today, I mean, West Brom are not going to be a pushover by any means.
No, so even all the matches that have lost, they've actually played very well. They've been playing very well. They've been very difficult to beat. And then today it was just fluke. I mean Alisson scoring the head.
I'll tell you what, you'd be fucking waiting a long time to see that happen anywhere again.
Yeah.
That was a cracking header, though.
It was. He's Brazilian, so what do you expect? I mean,
I can't believe no one picked him up. He was just left completely free.
Yeah. Well, nobody said that.
Yeah, the problem is that, Alisson. It's fine.
I know. Yeah. But so we got obviously the match of the Hawthorns. Then we have Southampton, who I guess last update was Southampton's winning 1-0 at Everton right now as we speak at halftime. So
Sheffield United.
That helped. Or is that Sheffield?
Oh, Sheffield.
Sheffield United. Yeah.
Oh, Sheffield United. I'm sorry. Yeah, Sheffield United is leading Everton. So Everton.
Yeah.
I mean, that helps us out. Yeah. That helps us out if they lose.
But because if Everton win, they go level with us on points, albeit they'll still be behind us on goal difference. But this really helps.
Whereas
it's a damn shame. Liverpool dropping 2 points at the Hawthorns would have really helped as well. Liverpool, Tottenham are level on points with us, but ahead on goal difference. So they're in sixth now.
Who do they have left? They have
they have Leicester on the final day.
Yeah, final day is Leicester, but
so funnily enough,
Villa next. Yeah,
Liverpool. I know, like ideally, we wanted West Brom to take something from Liverpool, but I think in the long run that may actually end up helping us. That late crazy Alisson goal, and here's why: because that win for Liverpool brings them right up close to Chelsea and Leicester.
Right.
So if they keep winning, Liverpool, and I think they will because they've got a handy couple of final games, that means that Leicester hopefully will be in a position on the final day of the season where they need to beat Spurs to be certain of a top 4 finish and a Champions League spot. And if we hopefully will be in a position where if we beat Southampton and Spurs drop points, that we'll jump Spurs into 6th and into that Europa League spot.
Yeah,
So it may end up helping us actually.
Yeah, I think you may be right about
Burnley and
that.
Palace next.
Yeah. So that, funnily enough, that late Alisson goal may end up helping us rather than hurting us, because we may end up, okay, now we maybe can't get 5th ahead of Liverpool. It's probably unlikely. But that 6th spot would still be excellent to get, to finish 6th and get a Europa League spot would be brilliant. So hopefully that means Leicester will need to beat Spurs or get something from the Spurs game on the final day. And maybe then we can leapfrog Spurs, with a win against Southampton, fingers crossed.
So Wally, like what if we end up not, finishing at least 6th, not getting any European football at all with the season that we've had? How would you rate it? How would you rate the season? Yeah.
Well, obviously at the start of the season, I would have been
we're so close again, or
yeah, I would have been happy at the beginning of the season after we lost the first 2 matches to be like an 8th or something at the end, but after we were 4th, we were 4th for quite a long time. We've been 5th, and then we're slowly dropping back. So I would be disappointed if we don't get some kind of Europe. And honestly, I would be happy with this European Cup, because that kind of sounds like our cup of tea to go and beat up on little European sides.
Yeah.
That might be kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm not feeling this conference cup at all. I just, I've seen a list of the teams that have already qualified. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
I mean, you're playing against fucking carpet fitters and car valeters,
Nice.
Christ knows what else. It's like, it's really, really poor. It's a really poor kind of level of competition. It's not a single team in there would I get any excitement whatsoever from facing in Europe. I really wouldn't. I really, really need us to get Europa League. Europa League has a lot of very decent sides in there, and Juventus will probably be in there, but the way things are looking in Serie A.
Wow.
So, we could be coming up against Ronaldo and Juve possibly next season, and teams like that in the Europa League. And obviously then some of the teams that finished 3rd in their group in the Champions League will drop into it. So, particularly in the kind of latter stages there, from last kind of 16 on in the Europa League, there's some very, very tasty teams we could face in there. Really exciting European Cup ties. But the Conference League is, I know the term Mickey Mouse Cup gets thrown around, but I hand on heart, I think this is actually genuinely a Mickey Mouse Cup. I have no excitement whatsoever to be playing these teams I've never heard of and can't fucking pronounce.
Well, as long as we finish above Spurs, really, I mean, and even Ken, New Hampshire Hammer here, he said the same thing. Now, if we don't get Europe and we finish below Spurs, that would be the absolute worst case scenario. I mean, playing as well as we had at some points, and getting up there in 4th for a little while and flirting with the Champions League, and then to end up falling out. I mean, that would be absolutely devastating, especially if Spurs finish ahead of us. But I mean, if we don't make Europe and finish above Spurs, I'd be happy, but I don't see that happening. I mean, unless Villa pulls out, a couple worldies and beats them, and then Leicester beats them, then, I guess they'd be out of the equation. Or even if just Villa beats them, right? I mean, we really if we win the last 2 and then they win only
they drop
one,
any kind of points.
Yeah, we would finish ahead of them, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. So, I mean, look, it would be fantastic, if we leapfrog Spurs, finish 6th, get a Europa League spot.
Yeah,
I want them to finish 7th. I want Tottenham to have the ignominy of having played in the Champions League final a couple of years back to now be playing goat herders in the Conference League. That would be amazing.
They'll be off to Romania to play Astra Gugu. Right?
Exactly. Whatever happened to that?
Astra, they're not in there. Astra are struggling in Romania this
Really?
season.
Are they? Oh,
yeah,
really?
they're not going to qualify for European competition.
Jesus. So whatever happened to that? Not the Remember how we qualified 2 years in a row because we had like the least amount of red cards and yellow cards? What was that called?
Fair play.
The fair play thing. Whatever happened to that?
That was the last year that we were in it.
Yeah.
For that.
It came and then went. No, it was like one of the first years too.
Yeah, because I think we qualified and then they were like, no, we fucking can't have this. We got can't have these teams in here. What?
All right, let's see what we got here. No, someone says Asher Gogo is in the Romanian Cup final.
Yeah, I heard they were in the Cup final. If they win that Cup final.
So
they get a spot for winning the fucking Romanian Cup.
In the Europa League, yeah.
One game away from Europa.
Fuck me! I can't believe they get a spot for winning the Romanian Cup.
In the conference, they get it in the conference.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was going to say, there's no way to get Europa League for that, surely.
No.
But, yeah, but yeah, fingers crossed. Look, but see, the problem I have is that there seems to be a little bit of a blueprint, that opposition managers can follow now, because I think there's no doubt that Graham Potter looked at what Everton did to us and tactically how it worked extremely well and how we struggled badly to break down Everton. And he probably thought, yeah, I'll have some of that. And he set up the exact same way as Everton set up. And we had no answers. So it won't surprise me, even though it would be a little bit of a change of formation for Allardyce. It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if he goes with 3 centre-backs and wing backs, because he's seen it work 2 games in a row against West Ham.
Yeah.
He's seen us struggle to trouble the goalkeeper against Everton and Brighton. And look, it would be clever. It would be clever to do it. It would be clever to do it because they struggle against this kind of system. So Moyes has to be ready for that, and he's got to figure this out. And, listen, Antonio's got to stop fucking off out to the corner. He's got to stop doing it. He's a number 9. He's a number 9. I know, it's his instinct. He gets out in the wing. He's comfortable out there, but he's got to stay central. There's no point in him going out there, doubling up with Cresswell or Lingard or whoever he's out there with, and creating an opportunity for a cross. Then Cresswell whips one in, and there's nobody there because Antonio's out on the sideline. It's pointless.
Yeah,
he's got to stay central and let the wide players do what they do, and mind his own business. And just stay in the center and say, listen, you hang in and around the box here because we don't want you really on the ball or shooting any further out than maybe 12 or 14 yards from goal, because he can't do it. So, he's got to stay central. He has to. And we've got to get... And Souček now, because he's got Rice back, he's got to start raiding in the box now as well again. With Rice back, there's no reason Souček can't go raiding in the box, try and get in the end of some of those crosses, because he's the most dangerous player we have on the end of those. So, that's what I'd like to see.
That's what we could end up seeing the last 2 matches. I mean, he might, snap out of it and do his job, and he might be the reason why we end up, finishing 6th or 7th.
Yeah, and he's got a hook Bowen as well. I think Bowen's form is poor. I thought Bowen was awful against Brighton, particularly second half. I can't remember a single thing he did on the ball. Right. So I think Bowen needs to be dropped.
So Wally, what do you think we're missing? You think we're missing Fredericks? What do you think we're missing? What's going to get us to win the last 2 matches?
I like that idea of playing 3 at the back with Soufal on the right as a right center back, and then my man Ryan Fredericks bombing up the side as a right wing back. I think the right wing back position suits him well, and that'll switch up things maybe on Allardyce, and maybe you won't be expecting that. The last time we played, we had Fredericks and Soufal tag teaming on the right there. We beat Aston Villa, and they neutralized Jack Grealish really well that way. So maybe a little curveball like that will invigorate us. We'll see. So
someone here said Fornals was it was actually Ken.
I thought he played really well.
I thought he was far from our worst player.
Oh yeah.
Who was the worst man on the pitch then, Tommy?
Worst. I thought Bowen was atrocious.
Yeah, or maybe Lingard. Lingard had a poor game. He just didn't look good.
You thought he was the worst player, Wally? Is it?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Bowen or even Antonio, didn't do
Well,
much.
yeah. Well, look, I mean, nobody. I don't think anyone had a great game.
Yeah.
But I think defensively, I thought we were fine. We had
Yeah.
one little slip up for the goal, but overall, they didn't trouble us particularly. But have you seen their conversion percentage? Their chance conversion percentage is 8%. It's horrific. It's easily the worst in the league. They're actually a decent. Yeah, I mean, really horrendous. Easily the worst. 8% of their chances they convert. So that's Brighton's big problem. They've got to find a finisher for next season. Because they're actually a decent enough side, Brighton. They play some nice stuff and they're defensively solid. So if they can find, if they had
against Graham Potter either, I think he's very intelligent. It's just he doesn't necessarily have the staff to perform.
He needs to be backed in the summer, and if he can find a double-digit goal scorer next season, they'll be comfortably mid-table. But yeah, I thought Bowen was the worst. No, I didn't think anyone had a great game. I thought Rice looked really good when he came back in. But everyone else, like you say, Wally, I thought Lingard was really average.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect segue. Because listen, I'm going to ask you both a question now. So I'm the king of how Wally's the king of Prussia. I'm the king of unpopular opinion. I should say that next to my name. But I think that regardless of where we finish, I don't think Lingard's going to sign with us. I don't even think, especially if we don't, make Europe. I don't see why he would absolutely come back here. I mean, there's already rumors going around that some of the current Man United players are already messaging out to him, reaching out to him, saying no, come play with us. I mean, we can find a home for you or whatever, at least be on the squad type of deal. And I just personally don't think that even if we were to finish sixth or whatever, I mean, if we were to finish in the Champions League, I mean, that might be a different story, but I don't see that happening. And then obviously if it's just Europe, I don't see Lingard staying with us. Now I'm going to go ask both of you guys. Tommy, you can start. That's fine. But what do you think of the chances of Lingard signing with us in summer?
I think a lot will depend maybe on what happens in these last two games and our final finishing place. I think there's still a possibility he stays. I don't think he stays to play Conference League. I don't think he is. I think he'll think that's beneath him, and he's right. Jesse Lingard should not be playing against these fucking teams. Like, it's ridiculous.
You love those teams.
But
aren't there a lot of teams like that in Ireland, though?
But Europa League, I think he will stay for. Yeah. I think Lingard would be perfectly happy, as would Rice, to be playing in the Europa League next season. Yeah, Europa League's a good competition. It is. It's a good quality competition. I know there might be a few teams in there in the beginning that are not that great, but when you get into the final 16 of the Europa League, there's some really good teams in there. So I think he'd be fine playing Europa League. I don't think that would bother him. I don't think it would have bothered him this
but
season.
It's only a few matches because I mean, the like you're saying, it's a quality league. And if we go up against Sevilla or whoever is, like the Bilbao's and all these other clubs, and they batter us, we're out, done. And okay, that was quick.
I mean, if only if you run into them early or something. But don't underestimate. If we get good business done in the summer, we get a proper number 9 in. We still expect next season to be a top 10. Top half team, and we're no mugs. I know we say the names of Villarreal and others, and we just kind of assume that they're these vastly superior teams, and I think we'd upset a few people. I think potentially in the Europa League, but we're a very good side. Okay, we're having a little bit of a slump, but last few games, but overall this season we've been a very good side. And don't forget, after we played Chelsea and we lost narrowly to them at home a few weeks back, Thomas Tuchel said that playing against us, he said, was for him was the same and as difficult as when they'd played against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. He said we reminded him a lot of Atletico Madrid. He said we're very difficult to play against, and we caused them a lot of problems. So
wow, what the hell was he smoking? Little Tuchels. Yeah.
No, I don't
you're right.
think he was. I don't think he was saying we're as good as Atletico.
No, I know
But
what you mean. I know what you mean.
he was
That's
saying we
problem.
caused
He was
them a lot of
complimenting.
similar problems, and that we
Yeah.
were difficult, to play against and cause problems for them. And
But,
so
and
don't
if
underestimate.
Moyes gets backed, obviously, if we make Europe or Europa or whatever, and then Moyes gets backed and we get a 9 or whatever, if we just deepen our squad, like add some depth. I mean, you're right. I mean, we could definitely. I mean, who knows what could happen? Yeah, we could definitely perform well as long as we have stability. And if Moyes is the man to give us stability, that's great. But I just want to see stability in the right direction, not stability
Yeah,
sinking. Like the
yeah,
stock
I
market.
think. Yeah, I think like we all have kind of still have like bad memories of Europa League. We barely scraped past Domzale and then got knocked out by Astrajurju. So
And the year before with Lusitanos, I mean, we blew right by
yeah,
them, and then
yeah. So we have bad memories of it from the 16-17 season, but I think we're a different animal under David Moyes. So I don't see that happening.
Okay.
I think if he takes it seriously, and I don't see why you wouldn't take Europa League seriously, then we have the potential to go on a deep run into it. And you know
I
what?
would love that.
It could absolutely happen that we could end up, if the last 16 draw is kind enough to us and we get through that. I mean, potentially we could have like a massive European night against a really, really good side in the Europa League quarterfinal. And that would be amazing. I would love that.
Yeah. Wally, so do you think what are the chances of us signing Lingard?
Well, as I was watching the match yesterday, and I was thinking actually the way he was playing so poorly after being like player of the month and getting goal of the month, but he was
it's like getting a contract. Whenever someone signs a new contract, they play like shit, or whenever they win an award, they play like shit.
Right.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, and considering actually it wasn't just yesterday, but the last, say, 3 games, he has not played well at all. So I was thinking, well, actually the amount we'd have to pay for him keeps going down, But then Tommy has a good point that if we don't at least get into Europa League, he's not going to want to come, even at a reduced price. So
I'll tell you what the odds are on that. I mean, there's got to be some betting odds on that. Like, if we don't make Europe, what are the odds of him actually staying? Like, him building the camaraderie with the players love him, the manager loves him. He seems to like the players and the manager. Like, and we did come close per se. Let's just say we didn't make Europe, but we came close. I mean,
yeah.
What
do you know what? I don't know what the odds are, but I wouldn't fancy our chances if we were in that Farmers League or whatever it is. I think
the Farmers League.
I don't. Yeah.
I almost
Europa
think
Farmers League. I don't think Declan Rice particularly is going to want to play in that either. I think we'd struggle to keep on to Rice. He'd be like, no, I'm not. I want to play. He wants to play Champions League. Europa League, I think. Europa League, Europa League, I think he'd be okay with, and he'd say, "Okay, this is progress. We're improving. It's a good season. We're qualified for Europa League. Some good teams in there, good competition." But I don't think.
But even the Farmers League would be a good. I mean, it's a step up
for us, because
what we're
it's
used
a European competition as opposed to it's usually not playing in a European competition. But
imagine winning the Farmers Trophy. I mean, it would be like a nice John Deere tractor.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, it'd be funny, wouldn't it? Big, big trophy like in the shape of a plow or something. But that'd be funny. It'd be worth winning it just to have that in the cabinet, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But no, it's I think I don't want to start stirring things here, or I'm not necessarily saying we should read too much into it, but Declan Rice today did follow Man United's official social media page.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we could have so he could email them. So he could message them.
Yeah.
And receive messages back. Yeah.
But anyway, well, Lingard, I think it's really up in the air. Of course, a lot will depend on the money too. I mean, how much are United going to look for him? Because I was thinking the other day, how he came in, I think it was early February, he made his debut. And our first February game, he made his debut, and obviously he was sensational. with his first number of games and 9 goals and everything. And then
Yeah.
every week it seemed we were saying price is going up, price is going up, price is going up.
Mm-hmm.
He's had a few bad games now, so I want to know, is the price going down?
Well, that's
If
what
you
I was
wanna-
thinking.
Yeah, because I'd be saying to United, here, you wanted to keep putting the price up when he was flying it and playing well and scoring goals and getting assists and lighting the Premier League up. He's not playing well now. Is the price going down now, fuckers? Can we start knocking off millions the way you were adding them?
Yeah.
Seems fair to me.
I mean, yeah, the board would probably be asking that same question. Obviously, they're not gonna. I mean, they're not idiots. I mean, they're idiots, but they're not that stupid when it comes down to money. They don't want to spend too much. So if they can squeak out a few dollars, a few pounds, whatever, and I think they'll be asking some questions.
Yeah, see, the reason I'm not sure about the Lingard situation is because his relationship with Moyes is so strong. He's like an adopted son, to Moyes. Moyes loves
But
him.
didn't Moyes not rate him when he was manager of Man United, though?
No, I think he did play him.
You did?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did play him. Because Lingard was playing for England.
I'm thinking of. Yeah, there you go.
And, I think he did, and that's why Moyes brought him to West Ham.
Okay.
Made that deal with United.
I'm thinking of Cheetah. Yeah.
Yeah, so, he loves Lingard, and Lingard loves him. Plus, Lingard knows he's going to be playing. Like, Lingard's going to know, even if my form drops off and I'm not playing particularly well for a few games, he's still going to prick me. So
Holy shit,
I think
Red Dwarf.
I think Lingard would be willing to stay if we have Europa League, no question, because of Moyes, and he's back in the England squad since he came back to West Ham. So he knows he has to be playing week in, week out. I don't think that's not going to happen at United. It just isn't. I think whether Lingard comes to us or not will come down to the money. I think that's that would be
if we do end up win the last couple of matches, we end up in Europe, Lingard stays. Will there be money to grab a number 9, or are we good with Antonio? What's your opinions on how many? I mean, I've been saying since I started this channel that Antonio's done. And of course I've been wrong over and over and over and over again because he just miraculously finds the fucking net somehow. I mean, in the beginning it was Rosie, and then he managed to figure out how to find the net. But yeah, I don't know. Like, health-wise, the guy's a risk. You know what I mean? He's been a risk the whole fucking time. So, like,
yeah, I mean,
what
to me, but to me, there are certain players that we cannot go into next season with as the first choice in their position. We cannot have injury-prone players as starters, in my opinion, because they cannot be relied on to be available enough. Antonio fits into that category. He's got to be replaced. Antonio should be a substitute, because he can be very, very effective coming on for 20 minutes towards the end of the game. He could terrorize backlines, that are tiring, and he comes on with fresh legs. And the fact that he's only coming on as a sub means he's far less likely to get injured. So he should be available almost all the time as a substitute. So we can't go into next season with Antonio as our first choice number 9 because he'll play maybe half a season.
Yeah.
You can't have that. It's too much disruption too often. So we need a number 9 who's going to be younger and who's an actual natural finisher, who is a real number 9, and it's going to be fucking available. So, and this will be much more controversial.
Mitrovic?
No. I don't mean as opposed to replacing him. I mean, another player that we cannot go into next season with as a starter is Aaron Cresswell. I know he's had a really good season. I know he delivers a really good cross. But he's in his 30s now as well. He's getting more injury prone. Yeah. And I think next season he'll probably play even less games next season than he did this season.
But like Noble, though, in a similar situation, not necessarily injury-wise, but age-wise. I mean, Cresswell is great to have in the dressing room. All the players love him to death. They would love to come around, train with him when he's healthy.
I would keep him. I would absolutely keep him. I'm not talking about selling.
Diop is the one I would be like first on the list. Like, 3 years ago.
But I just think we can't go into next season with Antonio and Cresswell as starters. I think we have to find a new left back to start in that position every week, who
Yeah.
isn't injury prone and will be available for every game. As much as Cresswell, he's had a really good season. He'll still be there. Excellent backup. You know, if the other player we have gets a suspension or God forbid does pick up a small injury and we need someone for a couple of games, then yeah, Cresswell is there, can come in and do a really good job. But I think it's too disruptive. Look what's happened these last few weeks. You know, it's coincided with injuries. We lost Cresswell twice, actually.
Yeah.
Although Cresswell was okay this time, thank God.
Mhm.
It was just a dead leg or whatever. We lost Rice, we lost Antonio. But now Rice's injury was, it's very rare for him to be injured, so I wouldn't worry about that. And he's very young, very robust. Yeah. But we will keep losing the likes of Antonio and Cresswell to injuries next season. It will happen regularly where they'll be out. We can't continue like that. We have to have first choice players who are not injury prone, because one of the most disruptive things to a team is when you get a glut of injuries, and it's exactly what's happened to us. I worry now about Ogbonna. I'm starting to worry about Ogbonna. I really hope Ogbonna isn't becoming injury prone. Now he has proven to be fairly robust, so you can't say yet that he's injury prone, but we'll know next season on him. Yeah. If he starts picking up more injuries, then we're going to have to say, okay, Ogbonna, can't rely on him to be there anymore. And I think once that happens, you have to replace those players in the first team, even if you don't sell them, because it's just too disruptive. Like at the moment, we potentially have a handful of players that are like that now. And if they all start picking up injuries, it's way too much disruption in a season.
Yeah, but before I get into, I'm going to ask Wally like what he thinks his needs are. Before I get into that, I just got one more for you there, Tommy. Yeah. Cresswell as the left center back, do you think that he played better there, or do you think that this season, or do you think he played better outside? Do you think that maybe playing both positions kind of fucked with him a little bit, maybe, or injury-wise even? I mean, that's for Tommy. I mean, yeah. So, what Tommy?
Yeah. Cresswell was actually really fantastic as the left-sided centre back. Did a great job there, and it seemed to really suit him. And if you remember, it's better for him particularly as his age, because it's less demanding physically, because he doesn't have to make those runs up and down the wing all game. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have to go the length of the pitch up and down. He was putting in some unbelievable balls from the deeper role. Remember, he would get forward still from his centre-back position, but would cross from deeper. And there were just superb balls in. Yeah. Great balls. And it suited him an awful lot better. But that was in the wing-back system when you had Masuaku outside. And Masuaku would do all the donkey work getting down to the end line and getting these crosses in from deeper and doing that stuff. So Cresswell was able to literally just sit back, move down just inside our opponent's half.
Yeah.
And sit there, and sometimes Masuaku would get turned back. He'd play the ball back to Cresswell. He'd put a ball in. Yeah. Or Masuaku would just cross himself, unfortunately, because Masuaku's final ball, whether it's a pass on the ground or a cross, is atrocious.
Yeah.
Cresswell did a lot of damage from that position, and defensively he's solid. The only thing I worry about Cresswell there is that if our opponents have kind of a big physical striker who's good in the air, they tend to target him in there. Mm-hmm. When they're putting balls in, he'll peel onto Cresswell. They would all peel onto Cresswell at the far post, and then the cross would come into the far post, and Cresswell would struggle a bit in the air. Now he's done very well in both positions. I'm not saying he goes out to left back and is crap. He's had a very good season, Cresswell. He's a bit of a kind of a, what do you call it, an Indian summer for him. He's done very well. So it's not a reflection on his performance, is what I'm saying. It's purely because we just need not just performances in his positions, but reliability as well. I think he's just going to.
No, you're right. I mean, he ticks the boxes of age, previous injuries. Obviously, like you said, even his height. To be honest with you, I mean, he, like you were saying, like you bigger, stronger people, and he's like 4'2". So, I mean, he's not gonna. He has no aerial skills. He's not Muggsy Bogues, But anyway, Wally, what do you think about what we need like what a few needs that would actually make us succeed in, say, Europe or something, you know.
Yeah, I think yeah, I agree about Cresswell. I liked him as that left side center back, and he still would get up the pitch somewhat, and that was good to see. And also, he'd be on the pitch to take like corners and any set pieces, which he's demonstrated some really good quality at. I mean, but that means we need Masuaku to be, and I think we at some point we went on a run when we had both Masuaku and Cresswell on the pitch, and we played some really good football in that position. But I agree. I think we really need a left back there to one who could play a lot more, and it would be nice to have Cresswell as backup, or if we went to three at the back, on the left side. So yeah, I think we need a left back. But up front, I agree. I don't think I think we were relying on Antonio the second half of the season, and sure enough, he went down, and then that's kind of where some of our trouble started, was when he went down. So I think we need to bring in somebody up front and demand to come in front, Marko Arnautovic. That's who we need up front. He Moy.
Fishing, no.
No. Hear me out. Moyes. I think Moyes got the best out of him when he was here before, and the other thing is that Felipe Anderson's going to be coming back into the side presumably, and if we keep him. Anderson played his best football when Marko Arnautovic was in front, yelling at him to put in better crosses and stuff like that. In retrospect, I originally thought Anderson was going to do better after Arnautovic left, but he didn't. So now I think the thing that got the best out of Anderson was Arnautovic yelling at him and spurring him on. And
yeah.
So that's why I would take, if we're going to have Anderson, I think we need Arnautovic too.
I think that Mitrovic is the poor man's Arnautovic. So I mean, we might end up going that route. Like you'll see the rumors over the summer, obviously. But yeah, Mitrovic. But the main thing is that it's come up twice already. I've seen comments. The thing that we're discussing injuries, and I've been saying this for a little while now. Obviously, my unpopular opinions, but it seems like other people are saying the same shit. We need a fucking goalkeeper. We need a healthy goalkeeper who doesn't beat his wife. We need one who's not a solid backup, who someone who can compete for that first position. I'm not saying we go out there and splash millions of dollars on Allison or somebody else, or like Edward, whatever the fuck his name is, Ederson or whatever. We don't need someone like that. We don't need a definite number one. We need someone to compete with this injury-prone Flappy Hansky. I mean, that's what we need. Someone to compete with him, to make him earn his job, and maybe send him back to fundamental school on how to prevent the easy ones and someone who doesn't get hurt all the time. When we get hurt, guys, when Fabianski gets hurt, what happens? We get fucked.
Tim,
right? Every time.
He could come in and be Prime Buffon for us, and you'd still hate him because he's a keeper. You'd still be on here bitching about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wally,
was Randolph. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. No, listen, if we get a keeper in who's like Prime Buffon and gets cooking 9 and 10s out of 10s every week, he can beat his wife as much as he wants, as far as I'm concerned. So, Wally,
yeah,
you're a contrarian. And
know,
you're the kind of guy who would have been telling us that we need to bring Paul Ince back, because you just love stirring. No, Arnautovic, nah, he's pushing on as well. He acted like an absolute fucking scumbag when he was here. So, plus I think
he comes, that means his brother comes, and that's the real. Yeah.
But I don't think it's happening anyway. I think it's just lazy rumors. It's an obvious thing to say.
Diop. It says we're looking to sell Ederson, Balbuena, Yarmolenko, maybe one other. Well, fucking Diop. See ya. That's what we need to sell. I mean, we're going to get more money for him than we would Balbuena.
I don't get the other ones. I don't get the Balbuena one. I actually, hand on heart, I actually think our best centre back pairing is Ogbonna and Balbuena. I still do. I don't get this. I think he's better than Dawson. Right. I think he's better than Diop. We were at our best.
Me too.
We were at our best defensively when Ogbonna and Balbuena were paired together, and just left there. Balbuena has been unbelievably unlucky this season. Unbelievably, like Diop picked up the COVID. Balbuena came in and was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Him and Ogbonna were so solid. They were fantastic as a pairing. And I thought we were very lucky to have such a strong centre-back pairing. And then, unfortunately for Balbuena, he goes and picks up bloody COVID. Then Dawson comes in and starts playing really well unexpectedly. And then Dawson messes up and gets a red card and stuff. And bizarrely, David Moyes decides that Diop is a better option than Balbuena.
Yeah.
Maybe because Balbuena had intimated already that he was going to leave in the summer or something. But for me, I'd have Balbuena in there ahead of Dawson or Diop every day of the week. But it's a pity if we lose him, because I think he's a really good centre back, Balbuena.
Yep, and he'll go somewhere where he gets minutes, and that's what he's looking at, where he's not getting any younger and he wants to play. He'll deteriorate quicker not playing 90 minutes every match, and that's what happens. So, but someone mentioned West Brom's keeper, Sam Johnston. That's not a bad shot. I mean, for a guy who got bombarded with shots, similar to Fabianski with Swansea, he actually he pulled off some worldly saves against.
Made a brilliant double save.
Yeah. No, was it Liverpool? Was it United? I can't remember. But I mean, he's performed very well against Arsenal, against Chelsea, against United, and so on, against the big guys. It's just that obviously they're, I mean, he's probably one of the few keepers on this planet that I have respect for. I don't know. It's really weird.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tim. I'd love to see another relegated side. Areola at Fulham is a quality goalkeeper. He looks really, really good. I'd love to go snatch him. I really would.
It would be great competition. I don't disapprove of that one. I'm not his biggest fan.
Areola.
I just want someone. I think he'd be great at competing for the number one with.
No. I think Areola beats out Fabianski. No problem.
There's too much politics in the club. Fabianski's our savior. No way. He'll never lose his position unless we spend 40 million on a keeper. He can do no wrong, man.
Until he takes a goal kick and throws out his hip again, then yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. Anyway, I mean, whatever. This is my opinion. I mean, my opinion is stupid. But, all right. So, someone says, weak. I don't think so.
Weak? Physically weak? No chance.
He's a beast, dude. I think he's a beast. Yeah. But again, I'm another thing that is, he also says anyone going down, we could steal. Obviously, they're all steals. Pereira. I mean, there's so many steals in these clubs that are going down every year.
I'll tell you what. Yeah. There's always good players to be had from the relegated teams, and I'll tell you what. Here's one for you, and this is something we should really, really try to make happen. Now there'll be other teams looking for him, but there's a guy who's playing here, Sander Berge at Sheffield United, who's a quality player.
And his
a midfielder
clause or something like that dropped significantly because they got relegated.
So his release clause because of their relegation has dropped from 40 million to 12 million.
Yeah.
Somebody's getting Sander Berge for 12 million. We should do everything we can to make sure that's us.
Yeah.
He's quality.
I mean, again, I'm so nervous about this.
Every time I see Sander Berge play for Sheffield United, he's like, a diamond, in a mound of coal. And we should really try to get Sander Berge. He's a really good player. And what a bargain. 12 million quid. You want to talk about a steal? There's your steal. Sander Berge for 12 million quid.
Where have I been hiding? I've been hiding right here in this room this whole time with my two posters just chilling, That's where I've been hiding. But anyway, you're going to see more of me, obviously, and I miss the show. I miss the channel. I miss the guys. I miss, everything. And I can't thank you guys enough, like Irish Tommy and Chris for doing, the post-match shows and keeping this thing alive while I've been on a little hiatus. Same thing with Lee, my co-founder of this, keeping the Wednesday nights happening for fucking like 4 hours an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Once you wind Lee up and let him go, there's just no stopping him. It's brilliant.
Pornos out in California. That's there's actually a lot more money in that than what I'm actually doing. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, that might be the next career move. But listen, same thing with Katie K doing the shows on Thursdays. I appreciate that as well. If anybody watching this wants to do a show on this network, I know Lee says it all the time, but by the time he gets around to saying it, everybody's asleep. So I'm just letting you guys know that, if you guy, girl, female, dog, cat, whatever, I don't give a shit what you are. As long as you're a West Ham supporter, you want to host a show, you want to co-host a show, you want to whatever. We have plenty of nights open, days open, mornings open. I mean, Christ, if you want to do something midday, which would be morning time in the U.S., that's fine. Like, just let us know. Message us on social media. Me, Lee, we answer all that stuff. Because again, we have support from people like Wally, who without Wally, we wouldn't be around today. Let's just put it that way. And I love the fact that he's been popping on this show and seeing you and Irish Tommy and everybody else on these other shows. Because the West Ham not social media, social media, but also the YouTube channels. There's so many of them now. It's all one big community. I mean, we're all West Ham supporters. And it's really cool to see that it's all growing and new fans are coming up all over the place, being unearthed, which is what we set out to do when we started this, was to showcase the American West Ham supporters, but then it turned into this, whatever. You support West Ham, let's have a show, let's do this, let's talk, get everybody's opinions, and it's fun. So I needed this today, and I really did. I needed to be back on. I needed to, have this camaraderie, this feeling with, shooting the shit with Irish Tommy and Wally and everybody in the chat room. I appreciate you guys coming on. But yeah, listen, if you guys have any final thoughts, please, and now's the time. Tommy?
Yeah, just to fill everyone in, it's about to be another home loss for Everton. We're deep in injury time, 30 seconds left. Their home form is shocking, absolutely shocking. So that's a huge result for us. Thank you, Sheffield United. I don't know where you pull this one out. Yeah, it's
we're a step closer to that Farmers League, huh?
Yeah. No, that's a big help, because Everton would have been level on points with us. Another thing, just if we don't get Lingard, the question there was any some players we can steal from relegated teams. Pereira, West Brom. I was watching him again today.
Definitely.
He's a seriously
Awesome.
good player. He's a great player. Pereira looks the business, and he's done it all season in a struggling team. He's shone. So he'd be a huge signing if we can't secure Lingard. Yeah, it's a free kick that's confirmed, basically. Sheffield United beating Everton away.
Awesome.
I can't believe how bad Everton are at home. I mean, they're so bad. Only for their road form, they'd be done in fucking 14th or 15th. But yeah, look, I suppose I just want to end on the hope is still there. Tottenham, we're level on points with Tottenham. We're sixth, so it's still there for us to get Europa League. And if we can finish strongly with a couple of wins, Tottenham only have to draw one, and we get sixth and we get Europa League. If we can do that, we've had a fantastic season. So let's just keep our fingers crossed that the boys can pull it out of the bag, turn this form around in the last two games, and get those couple of wins that we need. And fingers crossed that'll be enough. If we do, fucking happy days. We do an end of season review where we're all beaming smiles.
Hell yeah.
Hopefully.
Wally, any final thoughts or concerns or?
Well, no, yeah. I mean, Tim, yeah, great to see you doing a show again. And I have to thank you and Lee, because I was a West Ham fan all by myself, knew nobody around. Nobody knows West Ham and King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. They don't know what that is. And started watching you guys, and you've had me on the show, and now I've met, Irish Tommy and, people over in the UK and stuff like that. So I just thank you for dragging me out of the wilderness and bringing me into a great community. Thank you.
Oh yeah, man, definitely. That's what it's all about. And again, I've met some awesome people all over the world, thanks to the show. And even in person.
Yeah. I feel you, Wally. You know, I mean, I'm living up here in the southwest coast of Ireland, and you know, West Ham fans are a bit thin on the ground here because they're all glory hunters.
Right, exactly.
Glory hunters.
Yeah. So, you know,
Same
so you know, this is great for me too. Social media, you know, has been fantastic for me, and keeping in touch with the fan base, and you know, I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I love coming on these shows with you guys. You know, the American Hammers TV has been really good to me. You know, has allowed me to come on. I even co-host the show now on the channel, and with Chris, and it's just been fantastic. So I even managed some nights to stay up late with Lee. And,
I know.
Even though I have work the next morning, but those shows are fun.
No, listen, I watch, like, I don't know, maybe the first half an hour every episode, and then I watch, you know, the rest of it like over time, over the next few days. It takes me a couple days to actually finish it. So, but you know, it's funny to see the reaction. I'm like paying attention to all the people. I'm like, oh, he's getting tired. He's itching. He's gonna be typing in the private chat. I'm gonna be leaving soon, or so, you know, this one's getting ready to bounce, and I'm gonna, like, you know, place bets on, like, oh, who's gonna pop off first. Who can't take it the whole way, you know? Anyway, it's fun. We should actually do that. We should put up wagers and see who could, you know, maybe make some money off. Who's gonna drop off first.
Definitely, yeah. Just see who's gonna cave first.
Yeah, you know, but it's fun. But anyway, listen. What time we play Wednesday? The person said, "Shit, that's a good question." We play Wednesday. Is it Wednesday?
I think it is Wednesday.
15:15. So that's
3:15.
3:15
Eastern time.
Eastern time, and that's you are Eastern time, New Hampshire. So yeah, Ken, it's 3:15 Eastern time. That's 8:15 UK. Right? I mean, when do the damn hours switch again? I mean, there's a period of time when I don't know, whatever. Anyway, thank everybody for tuning in. I'm going to talk to you guys off the air real quick, but everybody else, thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure you hit the like button. Smash that like button, and then subscribe if you haven't already, please, and spread the word, share it. You'll see more of me. You'll see more of Wally, see more of Tommy. And yeah, we're going to try to do more shows. So come on and, you know, do some shows with us sometime, you know, and make sure you follow us all over social media. Check out our shop, Ahtv, ahtv.threadless.com. There's some cool shit in there too. All right. Have a great day, everybody.